Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Lexi. If you're new here, I'd love it if you subscribed and stay a while. I post new videos all the time, but today is a very requested video and I'm so excited to finally be filming it. Today we're going to talk about how to make money on social media, especially starting out as a small creator. So I feel like now that social media is a full-fledged career for some people and it's a lot more accepted as a job and a way to make money, everyone wants to know, how do I start? How do I get going? I want to make money on social media, yada, yada, yada. And I first want to start off by saying that if you are going to go into this with the mindset that you just want to make money and this is all about money and sort of going in with that like I need to make money attitude, it is not going to work for you. And what I mean by that is I'm not saying you have to go into it blind and think that, oh, you know, I'm just doing this and I won't make any money. You don't have to be naive. Like, you can definitely make a good chunk of money from social media. However, there's more to it than just making money, and people are going to see right through you if you're just posting sponsored content that you don't enjoy and you're just in it for the money. So I guess what I'm trying to say is go into it because you love doing it and it's something you genuinely enjoy, and the money will come. If you put in the hard work and you genuinely love what you're doing, I promise you, you will see success and you will start to make money. However, don't think that you're just gonna, you know, overnight grow all these followers and start making thousands and thousands of dollars, because that is not the case at all. It's a very slow process, very slow growth, but it's fun. And if you enjoy doing it, let's keep going with the video because I think that everybody can benefit from this. So I want to start off by saying, obviously, I am not a huge creator. Social media is not my full-time job. It will never be my full-time job, but I love it as a side hustle and a fun way to make money while I'm in school, as well as even if I wasn't making money, I would be doing it anyways because I just have always enjoyed taking photos, editing photos, things like that. So working with brands that I already love is just an added bonus, and that's why I wanted to share my tips and tricks with you guys, especially because I feel like there are so many videos on the internet about these big creators that make millions and, you know, it's their full-time job and all this stuff. And I just feel like it's hard for somebody that does have a regular job or is a student to sort of get their foot in the door and start making money and just doing it as a side hustle. So I wanted to make this video for you guys. Now, I am by no means an expert. I am just sharing my experience and how I started making money on social media and how I have seen growth. So let's jump right into it. I put some notes on my phone, just sort of planning out what I wanted to say so that I didn't ramble. Starting off, the first thing that you can do before you even have a large following is to just tag brands that you already love and buy their products and use. So if you're posting an outfit photo, tag the brands in the outfit photo of what you're wearing. Not only will people want to then shop what you're putting out on the internet if they like what you're wearing, but also brands will start to see you. You'll also show up in the tagged section of these brands' Instagram pages, so if somebody else is looking for how to style their clothing, you will be seen. Like I said, if you're posting a story of, you know, something you're eating or drinking, and for example, like collagen, if you found a new collagen brand that you love and you're seeing results, tag the brand in the story. You know, yeah, obviously you're not going to get paid for it and it's free brand recognition, but those brands are going to start to see you genuinely posting the content that you already love, and then they're going to want to work with you. Most brands honestly want to work with people that already use their products and promote them for free. So it's a great way for brands to start to recognize you and get to know you as a creator, and then you can start that relationship with them organically. Because I will say, people can see through sponsored posts that you don't genuinely love. So don't, and this is something that's really, really hard when you're starting off, don't just take any sponsored post because you find it as a way to make money. Because down the road, that, you know, $50 that you made for that post in the beginning could lose followers and lose that credibility later down the road when you are trying to connect with brands that you genuinely love. So just keep that in mind. Be strict even from the beginning with what you promote because people can see through it. Next, reach out to brands. So obviously in the beginning, brands are not gonna know who you are if you don't have a following, which is what happened with me. Obviously, my sister has a following, and so I think some people think that because of that, I can just get, you know, to work with those brands, and that's not the case at all. All of the brands that I have worked with have come from me. Most of them me reaching out. Obviously, once you start to grow your following, especially when you hit that 10K mark, specifically for Instagram, you can do swipe ups and things like that, and brands can start to reach out. But in the beginning, you're gonna have to reach out to the brands. So start to think of brands that maybe work with smaller creators that you already love, or clothing brands that you already buy their product, and just pitch yourself to them. Send them an email, send them an Instagram DM, put in the subject line like the brand's name X your Instagram name with collab or something like that. So when they see it, they open it and already know what you're reaching out for. And just pitch yourself. Tell the brand, you know, what makes you unique, why you think you'd be a great fit to promote their products. And in the beginning, it's gonna be in exchange for products. You're not gonna make money right away, and that's okay, because in my mind, when I started, you know, posting sponsored content with products that I already loved in exchange for those products, it is kind of in a way making money, because you would have spent your money on those products anyways. So for example, I have done monthly sponsorships with clothing brands that give me a gift card every month, and I pick out product to promote. So it's kind of in a way getting paid even before you're making money. So think of it that way, and don't think you're gonna go in, like I said, getting hundreds and hundreds of dollars for posting an Instagram post, because that's just not the case. Most brands also will not reply right away, especially in the beginning, and that's okay. I used to make it a point to reach out to 5 to 10 brands a week. I might get one reply, if any, and that's okay. You know, at least you're getting your name out there. The brand is eventually going to see it, and sometimes a brand will reach out months, even a year later, because they see your following has grown and they've been keeping an eye on you, and then they want to work with you. So don't be afraid to reach out to brands. If they don't answer, oh well. If they say no, oh well. You know, there are some brands that have said no to me in the past when I had less of a following and was taking social media less of a serious, I guess, like job, and now I work with them. So you never know what can happen. Especially, there's some brands that I've reached out to and I'm like, oh, they won't reply, and they have. So you never know. Reach out, but keep it authentic. Don't reach out to a brand just because you think, oh, well, they'll send me a product. Because again, you're gonna lose that credibility and it's gonna hurt you in the long run. Figure out why you think that people follow you, why you would want a brand, you know, to promote your stuff, and sort of figure out what makes you unique and what you bring to the table. What do you want your followers to gain? This can be humor. For example, on Instagram, I love posting funny captions and puns and things like that. No matter what the picture is like, I know that that's something I enjoy. I like making people laugh. So that's what I tend to do in my captions. Not always, of course. You can also post, you know, fashion inspiration or lifestyle tips, whatever. Just find what works for you and what you authentically bring to the table and what you want your followers to gain, and start showing that on your social media platforms. Next, you can join websites that connect you to brands. So obviously at first it's gonna be tough to get your name out there and start to get these contacts with these brands. Join websites like IntelliFluence was the first one that I actually used. Aspire is a website that I still use today. Social Native, things like that. There are websites out there that have these connections to brands and can connect small creators to them. You can apply to campaigns based on what brands you see that you feel like you would mesh well with and things like that. For example, I have done sponsorships with Chegg, the study content, through Aspire. I've done it with Ghost Bed for pillows that I genuinely love, sheets that I genuinely love. I've worked with brands such as L'Oreal, really cool brands that you can reach out to that you normally wouldn't be able to work with, but these websites connect smaller creators with these brands and sort of negotiate that process with you in the beginning, which I think is a really good way to learn how that process works as well, is by joining these websites and putting your name out there, applying to campaigns. Again, most of the campaigns I apply to, I never hear a response from, but at least, you know, the more you're getting out there, the more chance you do have of working with these brands. Next, a tip I have is to make sure you're putting effort into these sponsored posts. Make them aesthetically pleasing, make them match your feed, fit your brand, and don't be afraid to tell the brand, hey, you know, these guidelines are great, but I want my followers to genuinely see that I love the product, so make it very you. You know, brands sometimes will complicate the process and want all these specific guidelines, but then when you post it, your followers are gonna be like, this doesn't sound like Lexi. Like, so don't be afraid to tell the brand, like, hey, I just think that my followers will enjoy if I do XYZ instead of, you know, what you're proposing, and kind of go back and forth, because brands want the post to perform well, you know what I mean? Brands want them to seem authentic, because then people are going to check out their product. If it's a scripted thing that doesn't sound real, no one's gonna click on it. So keep that in mind. Put the effort into it, because the more effort, the more engagement, and the more brands will want to work with you. Another tip I have is to make a media kit. I'll put some examples on the screen of some media kit templates that you can use. They have some, I think, on like the Canva app, or you can just Google like social media influencer kit. what this is a page that takes you through, you know, your stats, your engagement rate, your followers on all your platforms, some examples of brands you've worked with in the past. You can even put pictures of, you know, some sponsored posts that you've done, and kind of a little about me blurb so that these brands can get to know you in an organized way and everything is laid out for them so that they don't have to go searching. You can attach this into the email or send it as a picture in a DM with the brand so that they kind of have it all, and everything's, the more easy you make it for these brands, the less work they have to do, they're more likely to work with you basically, especially when you're first starting out. Eventually, you can also sign with a management team. So I actually signed with Sociable Society. I love them. My manager, Erin, shout out to Erin if you're watching this. I absolutely love working with them, but I very recently signed with them. And a lot of times management won't really sign with smaller creators, but once you start to grow and you feel like, for me, the reason I love management is because they pitch me to brands, they negotiate all of the contracts for me. And yes, a lot of times management takes a portion of your earnings, but they're able to negotiate higher rates, so it balances out in the end. So for me, I love having management because they help me with so many things that, because this isn't my full-time job and I am in dental school, they're able to do a lot of the heavy lifting for me and work with me to sort of figure out what brands would be a good fit for me and not just have me take any sponsored content. And they set the deadlines and they sort of, you know, pitch what they think you bring to those brands. So I really love working with management. There's a ton out there, but again, a lot of times they only work with full-time creators. So again, use these other tips, start to grow slowly, and you never know, maybe you can sign with a manager. Just be careful, because as much as I love my management team, there are managers out there that do take advantage of smaller creators and try to take a large portion of that. And just make sure that it's worth it for you, and read your contracts carefully and just be smart about it. Next, a tip I have is to match your photos and sponsored posts not only to your aesthetic and feed, but also the brands that you're working with. Find a way to make it match both, because if you're posting about a brand you genuinely love, they might repost it on their feed if it fits their brand aesthetic. And then guess what? You're growing followers because people that also love that brand are gonna find your page, and it's just a cycle. So the more work you put into it and the more thought you put behind these posts, the more success you're gonna see, the more growth, and then the more money you're gonna make. My last tip is to work cross-platform. So what that means is get your name out there on other platforms as well. So for some people, it's a blog, a fashion blog. If you love posting fashion content, start a blog and get your name out there that way. Then people can find your Instagram, your YouTube, things like that. For me, my main platforms are Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, and my podcast. Now, don't spread yourself too thin. And for me, I know that, you know, a fashion blog or something like that is just not my cup of tea. Now, there are other thoughts in the process of starting blogs for other reasons that I'm kind of in the process of considering, but don't join a platform that you don't already love. Now, for example, I love Pinterest, but my content and my way of using Pinterest isn't to push my own content. However, TikTok is something I love. I love posting funny videos on TikTok, and you can use those on Instagram Reels as well. And I've seen so much growth just from cross-platform. Starting my YouTube channel, you know, obviously it's a very, very, very slow growth process on YouTube. Don't expect to hit 1 million subscribers overnight. But by starting a YouTube channel and showing more of your personality and more of your life, those people can then go to your Instagram and they want to follow you on different platforms, because people are nosy. Don't get me wrong. There are people I find on Instagram or YouTube, and then I follow them on the other platform because I want to see more of their life. So don't be afraid to try out new platforms and make content on those various platforms, because you can grow your following. And the more cross-platform you are, the more people are seeing your name, the more people are finding your other platforms. So just, you know, helps with growth. And then the more things that you have to give a brand. For example, a lot of times brands will do a sort of like combined package, and they'll pay you X amount of money to, you know, post a sponsored YouTube video and an Instagram post and a story. So if you're able to bundle these other platforms, brands will want to work with you more because there's more exposure for them. So just keep that in mind. Obviously, sponsorships are gonna come very slowly. I have not had any YouTube sponsorships. We've only had a couple podcast sponsorships. So just keep that in mind. It's a very slow process, but if you work hard, success will come, and you'll find brands that wanna work with smaller creators. Because a lot of times, not only do they get to pay less to smaller creators, which makes sense, but also it's more authentic to come from smaller creators. More people like to see sponsored posts from smaller creators because it's unique brands, you know. As much as I love and would love to work with brands such as HelloFresh and things like that, how many creators do you know that do sponsored content for them? So it's like these other small brands prefer to work with smaller creators because it's more unique and I guess less mainstream in a way. So keep that in mind. Don't be afraid to reach out to brands, and good luck. I'm gonna be honest with you, I still very rarely see like large chunks of money, but eventually things build up, and you can do things such as affiliate links also. So in the YouTube links and description or Instagram swipe ups, you can link products through things such as reward style or magic links and actually make a very, very small commission from that. So just things to keep in mind. It's not necessarily like a dedicated sponsored post, but you will see these little earnings start to add up, and it's a fun side hustle. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. My throat hurts because I feel like I've been talking for so long, but I hope you guys enjoyed this and I hope you learned something. Leave any more questions you have for me down in the comments. I love to interact with you guys there, or reach out to me on Instagram, TikTok, all of those things. But if you have any other questions, let's chat down below and I'll answer them to the best of my ability. I hope this helped you guys, and good luck. If you're starting a channel, I don't think it's too late to start. I just think do it for the right reasons and really put in the effort, and you know, you'll start to see success, growth, money, all of that. So thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.